What do you think is the most dangerous invention in human history? A missile, a gun, maybe the atomic bomb? Nah, now don't panic, but what if I told you that the most dangerous invention in human history is right here in my pocket? Think about it. A pair of scissors. They're everywhere, from your pencil cases to NASA labs. In fact, the first objects astronauts took to space while preparing food, not a knife, not a fork, a pair of scissors. Maybe even zero gravity if you have a good haircut. Scissors are basically just knives in a committed relationship, working together to cut through anything in their path. Paper, hair, dreams, expectations. Romantic, isn't it? Now, let me tell you what happens when you hand a weaponized love story like that to a 12-year-old with an identity crisis. Exhibit A. 3 years ago, I wanted bangs. Not because I thought they would suit me, but because I wanted a personality. I didn't have one yet. So I handed my mom a pair of kitchen scissors and told her to go for it. Now, my mom is amazing at a lot of things, but a fringe, that was her tragedy. One snip in, I looked like I lost a bet. 2 snips in, I looked like I was the bet. I cried so hard that even my mom, who created this mess by saying, "Hey, don't worry, it'll grow back," started Googling hats. Plural. At school, my friends didn't even say anything. They just stared like they were trying to spell out an apology in Morse code. And this was the first time I realized something simple yet powerful. Scissors weren't just tools, they're choices. And I've been fascinated ever since by how the tiniest tools and tiniest choices have the biggest outcomes. We've all had our moments where one single choice changed everything. For me, it happened to be that one haircut, but for you, it's probably something else. And that is exactly why this conversation matters. Even in ancient mythology, scissors weren't just tools. They were symbols of fate. In Greek myths, the 3 fates, Clotho, Lachesis, and Atropos, literally controlled life with a thread. One spun it, one measured it, and guess who ended it? Atropos, with scissors. Snip, done. That, ladies and gentlemen, was the difference between life and death, between destiny and dust. And we can say the same for humans as well. The first independent act begins with a cut, the umbilical cord, and the final farewell when the shroud is cut. Every beginning and every ending marked by a pair of scissors. Now, it is a little terrifying to think that the same object you used to cut wrapping paper on Christmas morning also symbolizes the end of all things. And in stories and in reality, scissors always represented change, often painful, but always powerful. Often painful, yet always powerful. Even in Greek myths, just like we saw, they help cut us out of drama we had no business being in. They snip the string on people-pleasing, and sometimes the best kind of growth starts with a clean cut. And sure, they've caused chaos, but they've also helped cut ties, cut losses, and now and then, cut ourselves some slack. Fast forward to today, and scissors are still cutting, metaphorically. They cut red ribbons at launch events while millions are unemployed. They cut red tape in boardrooms while entire communities are sidelined. And they cut deals in back rooms with promises so thin, you think they were made out of craft paper. Globally, we spend $2 billion on packaging scissors. Safety scissors, child-friendly scissors, pink handle scissors. Meanwhile, we still haven't figured out how to cut child poverty rates in half. Ironic, isn't it? We designed these scissors so kids wouldn't hurt themselves, and then built systems where they end up getting cut anyway. Because somewhere along the way, we have gotten really good at cutting the wrong things. Budgets, rights, people. We cut education to fund wars. We cut empathy to stay efficient. We trim down truth until it fits a headline, and we call it progress. We clip context out of history, we cut nuance from conversations, and we cancel people faster than we cancel our subscriptions. And when someone bleeds, we don't hand them a script. We hand them a bandage. Scissors aren't dangerous because they're sharp. They're dangerous because we never stop to think, what are we cutting out of the picture? And more importantly, what is left behind? And we don't even flinch, because we've normalized the sound of things breaking as long as it's neat and quiet. But maybe we don't have to leave things like this. Maybe we don't have to be the scissors in someone else's story. Maybe we can be the glue. We can choose to reconnect, repair, rebuild. And sure, it'll have lines and scars, but it'll be real. Because unlike scissors, we don't have to cut to create something that matters. But let's not forget, these tiny tools will be everywhere, from our desks to our kitchen, in our history. The danger isn't in the blades. It's in how we use them. So maybe the real challenge isn't to just throw the scissors away. It's in finally learning what's worth cutting and what's worth holding on to. Thank you.